so cute!
That is so delicious. It is the first day of the new year of 2026. My name is Fael. I am a creative director. I am based out of Montreal. I make fashion, lifestyle content here on YouTube, over on Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms. But I'm trying to make a comeback to YouTube. And so I've been slowly working at building up the confidence to speak more on camera, and I feel like long form content is the way to do that. My first video of the year, last year, I made an attempt at making more YouTube videos, and I will say I was successful in a sense because prior to that I was only posting like maybe like once a year. You know, like those lofty like New Year's goals where you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. I don't want to be so strict with myself, but I do want to set myself one goal this year, and I think what it's going to be is that I want to, at least one goal for this channel I should say, I think what I want it to be is that I want to post 2 videos a month. I think that's a very realistic goal, and yeah, I'm hopeful that you'll join me on this journey, that you'll stick around, that you'll watch me yap on camera. Hopefully we can get to know each other, become friends. So now that the introductions are out of the way, let's get to the main point of this video. For the first vlog of the year, I figured I would bring you guys along for the first few days. I think I have quite a few things planned actually for the first couple of days. Like today, I am going to be making soupe Joumou. This is like my 3rd time making this soup. My parents grew up making me soup every 1st of January, just as most Haitians experience in their households. If you grew up in a Haitian household, then you probably had soup on January 1st. Or if you have like Haitian friends, then that's probably something that you might have heard of. But it's very important that I make this soup. So I'm gonna be making the soup this year because I'm back home in Montreal. My parents live in Ottawa, so I'm not gonna get a chance to taste their soup. So I gotta take on these traditions myself, and no one prepares you to have to do this on your own, to have to like get older and be the one to carry on the traditions. And I feel like if I had been like more conscious of this growing up, then I might have paid attention a little bit more when my mom was doing these recipes over the stove, because now I have to call her and I have to do all this extra research on the internet to try to figure out how to do like the most basic Haitian things. But it's okay. It's worth doing because I definitely want to be able to carry these traditions on, and I really do cherish these traditions. I think it's going to be really meaningful for me to be able to pass them on to my children. So I want to start learning these things now, which is what we're doing. So this is my 3rd attempt to this soup. Last time I made this soup, it was really, really good. So I'm very excited about that. It wasn't quite the same as how my mom makes it, but I liked my version. And I feel like I can make my version even better. So that's what I'm gonna be attempting to do today. So we're gonna be making soup today. And then for the next couple of days, I have a few fun things planned. I know that I have a couple of little fun get-togethers. So tomorrow I'm going out for dinner. In the morning, actually, I have a photo shoot planned with a friend, so I'm gonna bring you guys along for that. And then on Saturday, I'm throwing a cookie party. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that. So my friends are gonna be coming over in the morning, and we're gonna all bring a little cookie. Every year in January, my church does prayer and fasting, and that's starting on the 5th. So I'm trying to get all of like my foodie activities done like right before then, because I'm gonna be fasting for the next 21 days. So that being said, we're having a party on the 3rd. My friends are coming over. They're all bringing cookies. We're gonna eat some cookies. We're gonna make our little cookie boxes, which we'll be able to freeze and eat after the fast. And we're also going to just be sharing some goals, talking about the new year and how we feel about things, and you know, taking a little bit of time to pray for each other. So that's kind of the plan for that cookie party. But let's get back to business. We're making soup today. I'm gonna stop stalling and I'm just gonna get right into it. I think the task feels a little bit daunting, but I already did most of my prep the day before because I knew that I wanted to have a more smooth morning, especially because it's the first day of the year and like no one's trying to do that much on the first day of the year. So that being said, let me get into this. Not that I'm an expert at this at all. Like I said, I've literally only made this soup like 2-3 other times before this, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my ingredients and what it takes to be able to make this. if ever you want to make this yourself. Truthfully, every Haitian person adds like their own little twist and tweak to this recipe, so you're never gonna get like the exact recipe, but here's what I'm doing. So I have some beef. So my soup, usually there's some kind of protein. You could do chicken, you could do like a lot of different kinds of meats. I've seen a lot of things done. I've seen pork and all kinds of things, but I'm gonna be using beef because I prefer beef. My beef is already marinated. I added some épices, which is another thing that you kind of have to learn how to make. Well, you don't need to learn because there are people that sell this. In some grocery stores, you can actually purchase this, especially if you go to like a little Haitian market, you'll be able to find épices. If you don't have any of those resources or you don't know anyone that makes épices, it's pretty simple. There are a lot of things that come together to make épices: garlic, parsley, peppers, shallots. There's quite a few things. I'm blanking right now, but I'll put a recipe down below. That said, I have my beef. It's already marinated. It's been marinating since last night. So that is going to be the first thing I'm going to throw into my pot. I also have pre-cut some white radish. My dad said that it's very important that it's white radish. Last time I made this, I accidentally made it with a rutabaga, but you don't want to do this. See, I don't even know if it's a radish. I'm gonna have to fact check myself if I'm saying this correctly. In French, c'est un navet. But t'as besoin un navet blanc. That's what you need, okay? So you're gonna cut that thinly, and you don't want that much navet. Cut up some cabbage. The one thing I didn't prep in advance is I didn't prep my potatoes because obviously if you leave your potatoes out and they're not in like soaking in, I can't remember what solution, but if you leave your potatoes out when they're peeled, they will oxidize and they will turn brown. And it's not that they're not good to eat, but obviously like that's not gonna look very good in our soup. And presentation matters to me. I'm also gonna need some cloves. You're gonna need a hot pepper, like a Scotch bonnet pepper. And then I prepped my celery and I prepped my carrots. I put them in this handy dandy container. And obviously pasta, because no soup Joumou is completed without pasta. I'm using penne because that's what I grew up with, so that's what we're doing. But I'm thinking I'm gonna do something different this year. So what I'm thinking is that instead of doing the pasta directly in the soup, I think I'm gonna cook the pasta separately and I'm just gonna add it to my soup gradually. Because one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure other Haitians can attest to this, sound off in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. When you put the pasta in the soup and then you let it sit or you put it in the fridge or whatever, I find that afterwards, soupe la marée, which essentially means that the soup thickens up like to a point where I'm like, is this even soup? Like one of the culprits is probably the pasta. So a way that I'm gonna try to reduce this from happening is I'm just gonna add my pasta into my bowl after. I'm gonna make my bowl of soup and I'm just gonna add the pasta after. Is that illegal? I don't know. Haitians, let me know. Am I doing something crazy? I feel like it's not gonna detract from the soup, but that's just how I'm gonna do it this year. I feel like that's just gonna be the best method for my soup. Last thing that I prepped in order to make the soup happen is the Joumou. So I cut my squash in half and I put that into the oven with some olive oil, some thyme, some salt, some pepper. And once that was nice and roasted, I scooped it up, I put it in my blender and till it got silky smooth. My pot is not big enough. That's because I have not graduated in my level of Haitianness enough to get like a proper chaudron, like a really big pot to be able to really house the amount of soup that Haitians consume on January 1st. But because it's just me and my brother in this apartment, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm actually gonna use this pot and I'm gonna use another little pot that I have in order to make a little bit extra soup because I really love soupe Joumou. It's actually my favorite thing, like my favorite meal. And so I want to eat this breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm gonna eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner tomorrow as well. So I want to make enough, so I'm gonna use this pot and I'm gonna use a second pot as well. And hopefully that makes for enough soup to keep us going for the next couple of days. while that's sizzling, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these potatoes. I'm not doing 20 potatoes, I'm doing about like 6 medium-sized potatoes. So I'm gonna peel these, cut these down, and hopefully I can do this quick enough, and then I'm gonna throw them into the pot. Well, what I'm about to do now is take this off of the pot before it burns. I'm supposed to add in the potatoes and the carrots together, just so that it can soften, but I have been doing my steps out of order. I feel like filming is throwing me off just a tiny bit because I'm thinking about that as well, and so my head is maybe not fully in the game. But regardless, we're continuing with the process. I don't think it's going to affect the taste that much, to be honest. I don't think it's going to affect the taste at all. But yeah, so I'm adding my Joumou puree, my squash puree. Yeah, we're just gonna let that simmer. I'm gonna add some hot water as well to this, just because as of right now it's pretty thick and I do not want like a super thick soup. I will say it smells so delicious in here. I'm gonna get every last drop of that pumpkin. I'm gonna be putting a lot of cabbage in because that's my preference. Add my meat back into my pot. So I'm gonna be using some parsley and also some thyme. So I'm gonna tie them together. I'm gonna be left with like a little bouquet like this. Typically you would use a Scotch bonnet pepper and you would stuff it with some cloves, but I thought my mom left some behind for me, but she didn't. So I'm gonna use just a regular pepper. This will do the trick regardless. It won't bring some spice, but I'll be able to retrieve my cloves, and also it's gonna just add to the fragrance of the soup. It should look a little something like this. All right, I close the over. Alright guys, so at this particular point of the process, we're just going to let it simmer for about like 45 minutes to an hour. I think it's almost ready, honestly. It might even simmer for a little bit less than that. But I've done every single thing that I know to do to make this soup happen. And I think that it's coming together pretty well. So now we're just going to wait for the soup to cook. I'm going to cook some noodles on the side like I mentioned before, and then I'm going to enjoy this soup. That is so delicious. I'm so happy with how this soup turned out. I didn't get a chance to give you guys my first impressions yesterday, but I am having a second bowl of soup this morning because, like I said, I'm gonna be eating this soup throughout the weekend. That's just how I like to do things at the beginning of the year. I love to just eat as much soup as I possibly can. It's my favorite meal, and I'm really happy that it turned out the way that it did. And I was right about the noodles. I mean, I think I was right. I didn't put the noodles in the soup, and it definitely made for a soup with like not as much thickness today. I'm very happy with the results. My soup is a little bit spicier than I find my mom usually makes it, but I really enjoyed this. And so this morning I actually have a photo shoot coming up in like maybe, I gotta be out of this house very soon actually. I have to be out of the house. It's like 10:35 right now. I'm looking at my hand as if I have a watch. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up the soup. I'm gonna head over and meet up with my friend Rada and her husband. We're gonna be taking some beautiful photos of them in this really cute studio. It's called Maison Niort. So I'm gonna head over there after I finish my soup. I'm really excited to see my friend. I haven't seen her in a minute, so I think it's gonna be really fun. And I always love shooting with Reina. We're
over here.
okay.
So excited to see you work.
Huh?
Right now, always tells me about how much of a magician you are.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm so happy to see you guys. I'm very
Yeah,
excited.
too. You want to see the inspo? Or you're trying to unlock this thing with your face?
My face.
I'm dying.
It's not even mine.
So
Okay,
we're gonna do like these and these ones first, and then we're gonna do a beard one last. Something like that. That's actually perfect, baby. It's literally the same stool. We can do better.
This is the closest to the reference, but I don't know. I feel like we could do better. Perfect. And I know it's so deep, but keep going. Okay, now look at each other. Wonderful. Now tell each other the best joke you've ever heard in 2020. Oh, I love.
That's good. Good.
I love it. Yeah.
Well done.
I think I want the
Any
start
solos?
here. That's the 11:30, so we have 10 more minutes.
Oh yes, yay! I didn't get a chance to show you guys around the studio because we got right into the shoot as soon as we got here, but we're at the studio, we're shooting, it's going well so far. This is a really pretty space, so if ever you're in the Montreal area, I definitely recommend stopping by. They're getting changed into their second outfit now, and yeah, it's going so well so far. It's just a 1 hour shoot, and I feel like we're doing really great on time, hence why I haven't been able to like narrate so much, but it's going well. I think you should do the big earrings. I think
These
they look
ones?
really
Yeah.
nice.
Because I had like little pearl ones.
I like them. No, I like the big
These?
earrings because
Okay.
the dress is so simple. I feel like you need like a little pop.
Okay.
Vlog. This is my friend Reina. We've been friends for a little while
Yes,
now.
that's true.
We shoot content together here and there.
She's amazing. But you guys knew that because that's why you follow her,
You're
right?
so
You
sweet.
subscribe.
Anyways, a little shout out. Her husband's here too. They're taking beautiful couple photos.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you guys need like more lifestyle fashion content creators in your life, then you definitely want to check out Reina because her content is like top tier. I'm telling you, top tier.
Very
Great
kind.
styling tips. She'll get you together. Yeah, this is nice. Oh, I didn't even. That's how you know I'm not.
The outfit's right now. I said, ta-da!
That's a great suit. It works for this perfectly. Oh my gosh. No, this is perfect. Great. Do a little twirl. That's cute. Keep going because, yeah. Good morning, guys. It is Saturday morning. It is the morning of my cooking party. And today we are doing something that I like to call soft hosting. I don't know if this is a thing, but this is my definition. So essentially, we're hosting, but we're hosting with the least amount of effort possible. We still have the same amount of care and intentionality to things, but we're not like spending all of our energy in order to do this, and we are not overexerting ourselves. So in order to do this, you essentially have to do a lot of prep ahead of time, but also you outsource tasks as much as possible. So all of my friends are going to be bringing one cookie that they either made or bought, doesn't really matter. The goal is really just to get together with the girlies and yap a little bit, just like connect before the beginning of the year, talk about what we are hoping for, pray for each other, eat some cookies, you know, catch up. Because I feel like it's been a minute since I've like spent some intentional time with them. So that was my way of doing that, but I didn't want to overexert myself, like I said. So I decided to do something that would be a little bit more relaxed. So I'm going to be serving tea, I'm going to be serving cookies, obviously. The to-do list for this morning, I have my washing machine going because I still want to reset my home because it's the weekend and I like to reset my home on the weekend, get all my linens washed and all that kind of stuff. And then get the washroom and the general areas as clean as possible. I'm also going to be prepping a crudité platter, nothing too crazy, just like a couple veggies and some hummus. And then I'm also going to be doing some chips and some dip because I feel like you need a little bit of salty and a little bit of freshness to cut all the sweetness that we're going to be having. And I'm going to be serving some tea as well. So some balance. It's not going to be anything too crazy, nothing that requires like too much stress on you. And you're the one that is able to determine how much you can take on, but be realistic with yourself when you're trying to host friends and you're attempting to what I like to call soft host, because the goal of it is really that by the end of the afternoon, the evening, or whatever the event is, that you feel like you were able to participate in your event, that you weren't just like an observer. I chose a setup that I knew wasn't going to be too complicated. Tea, cookies, things like that. It doesn't require that much effort. We're not cooking like a big pot roast to feed 72 people. This is like a small gathering, just a few girlies. And cookies is something that I find you could easily outsource. You know, like one person brings one cookie, the other person brings another cookie, and before you know it, you have a whole spread, and it feels special and it feels fun and festive, but it doesn't take out the wind from your lungs, and you get to just really be there and be present. You want to actually enjoy the moments that you're able to spend with your guests, because that's the whole point of why you're hosting them. I often think about the story of Mary and Martha and how Jesus says that Mary chose the better part because she was present, she was at his feet. And so you don't want to be so caught up in doing things for people that you're missing the moment. So that was my little 2 cents. And with that being said, I'm gonna get into party prep. One of the things I did to relieve the pressure is I didn't insist on the cookies that my friends brought over to be made from scratch. So I know that I have a friend that really loves these cookies, and these are her favorite cookies. So I made sure to go by and get a box of these. That way she would be able to get her little special treat. And then I also got myself Oreo thins because I personally love Oreo thins, and I wasn't gonna try to create Oreos from scratch the day before the event, but these were gonna scratch the itch regardless. And so got myself some Oreo thins, got some little lemon cookies that I know my friend loves, and I'm really excited to see what other cookies that my friends bring over. I think that they're gonna bring some really special things, so I'm excited about that. I have a friend that's like been hyping me up. She said, "You are not ready for my cookies," so I'm so looking forward to what she ends up bringing, because I know that she is going to absolutely kill it. So like I said, the main thing I'm serving at this party is tea. So I made sure to grab as many teas as possible, set them up on my cutting board because I feel like it just makes it feel like less messy than just having them all scattered across the table. So I have quite a few assortments of teas. I have a few more loose teas in my cupboard, so if my guests request those, I'll be sure to grab those. I'm gonna be putting a little bit of milk in here. I also have this like really cute sugar dish which I thrifted, which I'll be putting some sugar in for my friends. I'm also going to be using this really beautiful teapot that I thrifted ages ago. I love this teapot. I think it's so beautiful, and I just think it's gonna be like a nice little touch for the party. As you can see, I'm starting this cookie setup with a few store-bought cookies that I mentioned that my friends like, and I also like Oreo thins, so I included those as well. And then my crudités and like my little salty snacks and like healthier things over here. And I'm gonna be placing all the rest of the cookies on my kitchen island. And like I mentioned as well, I'm gonna be doing all the teas on the center table where everyone's gonna be sitting at. That way it's like easy to reach for, and it's less crowded, because I'm assuming that once everyone comes through with their cookies, this table is gonna be overflowing, and that's exactly what we want when we're having a cookie party right before a fast.